want to go back to AD from Louisiana. He is asking me about Walter Scott. Walter Scott was a black man who in his 50s who was stopped by a police officer, and the officer went back to his car. And at that time, Walter Scott jumped out and ran. And the next time we saw him on video, he was getting up from the ground, running again, and it's been reported that he tried to take the officer's taser or took it, and the officer got it back or he dropped it or something. And he ended up dead because the officer didn't know if he was armed or not. But because he's black and have no sense of what is right, the blacks who hate white people and white cops been brainwashed to believe, oh, you don't shoot, man. You don't run from a cop. When you run, you're bringing it on yourself. So, AD, let me say this to you. When I was growing up, and I grew up under the Jim Crow laws, I grew up on a plantation down in Alabama. I grew up with the black and white signs, drinking fountains, and things like that. My grandparents always said to me and to their children and grandkids, if you go to jail, and this was really back there when quote-unquote racism was supposed to be bad, they said, if you go to jail, don't call me, don't think I'm coming to visit, don't ask for money on the books. You're going to stay in jail because you should not be committing crimes. And if you don't commit crime, you don't do the time. I'm not coming I ain't coming to get you. They made that clear. And as a result, none of their children have ever gone to jail. I've never gone to jail because my grandparents made it clear what would happen. And so that's what I would teach my children, and I hope you would teach yours the same, would you?
Yes.
Okay. And so when this officer stopped Walter Scott and he jumped out of the car to run, did he not put his own life at risk?
It's the difference between going to jail.
No, answer that first. Did he not put his own life at risk?
When he ran?
Yes.
No, because a taser cannot be used 50 feet away from the officer. I could see if he was shooting at the officer and there was a shootout, and the officer had, definitely could be, his life is at risk at that point. But you cannot use a taser 50 feet, 30 feet, that far away from the officer. The officer chose to shoot at the officer. So the officer, regardless of what happened before the shooting occurred, we don't see that on video. We see him running away from the cop with his back turned, trying to get away from the cop. The cop had every right
he
to
was
chase after him.
5 feet away when the officer
in the video.
Hold on, AD, hold on.
Okay.
He was 5 feet away when the officer was pulling the gun.
When the officer shot, he was more than 30, 50 feet away. And I seen a video where you told the statement, you said 30 to 50 feet away. He had his back turned. He was trying to get away. Now, the officer could have chased after him or called for backup, or could have, the man was running very slowly, so he shouldn't have any trouble finding the man.
You're 30-something years old, and you believe what you're saying right now.
For every race. You should not get shot in the back.
AD, you're 30-something years old, and
I'm 37 years old.
You're 37, and you really believe what you're saying right now.
You should not get shot in the back. Your child, anyone's child.
If he had not run, there was another person in the car with him.
He should have been arrested.
Hold on. There was another person in the car with him who did not run, and as far as we know, that person is still alive. And so, do you believe had Walter stayed in the car, followed the instructions of the officer, would he be alive today?
I believe he should have been arrested.
No, I said, would he be alive today?
If there was an officer who was doing his job.
I'm going to ask you one more time, AD. Had Walter Scott not jumped out of the car and took off, would he be alive today if he didn't run?
If the policeman had been doing his job, he would have been alive. He would have been in jail.
You're not going to answer that question?
Yes.
If Walter Scott had stayed in the car, would he be alive today?
I don't know.
Are you a Christian, AD?
Yes, I am.
You believe in God?
I believe in God. I believe in Jesus.
Why do you believe in God?
Because I was raised in the church.
Oh, because you were raised in the church?
Yes, and I.
That's the only reason that you believe in Him?
And I have a connection with God.
What's your connection?
Well, I was raised in the church and I was taught the word of God, just like yourself.
You were taught the word of God. Do you know right from wrong?
Yes, I do. And it's not
And
right.
so was it right? Was it
in the
right
law.
for Walter Scott to jump out of the car and run?
That's a reason for arrest, not a reason.
Was it right for him to jump out the car and run?
It wasn't right to run, but it definitely wasn't right to kill no one.
And if you
and also, I want to ask you this. I'm sorry, but
let me ask.
You made fun of the lady. You made fun of the mother. You made fun of the mother who was showing remorse for her son, and she said she was phony and she was a bad parent, and then you were laughing at her. Like,
right, because that woman up there had her hair all done up. And
what's wrong with that?
Up there crying, oh, my baby. She know that man wasn't no good.
That's her son.
But she raised her back. If she was, hold on, AD. Hold on. If that woman was a good Christian woman, she would do what the blacks did when they had character. She would have gone to that mic.
So blacks don't have character?
Hold on, AD. AD, you want to conversate, you're going to have to communicate, or I have to let you go. If that woman was a true believer in God, she would have said, I failed with my son, and I'm sorry for what I've done. My son got what he deserved because he jumped out of the car, he ran. What was he running from? That officer did not know if he had a weapon on him or not. If he had not run, he would still be alive today. And I want to apologize to the officer and to America for failing my son. My son brought this upon himself. That's what a man or a woman of God would have done. But instead, she got there and faked it and played it as though she had not done anything wrong or Walter had not done anything wrong.
Okay, what makes you think she was faking remorse on her son?
Because she never admitted she was wrong.
Well, what does it say that you have to? I mean, her son was wrong for whatever he got arrested for. Was trying to get or was attempting to get arrested for by the officer. But when the officer shoots someone, Jesse, that's not in the Bible. You don't kill anybody, Jesse. I mean, you protecting yourself. That's a different thing. But when a man is running away or a woman is running away, man, woman, child,
but you're not supposed to be running.
You're not supposed to be running, but the officer. Can you admit that the officer was not supposed to be shooting when the man?
No, I can't admit that because the officer is paid.
In his hand, right?
The officer is paid to protect the good from the bad, and that's what I want them to do.
He's not.
He was protecting the community.
That's why he should have arrested the man.
Amazing.
Or called for backup to help get the man arrested.
Do you love white people?
I love all people.
Do you love white people?
I love white, black, Mexican, Asian.
Why do you love white people?
I love every race.
Do you love the white cops?
I like white cops.
Do you love the white cops?
I love everybody.
Do you love the white cops? I'm just asking about the cops. I'm not asking you about everything.
I respect all cops.
Do you love the white cops?
I work with cops.
Do you love the white cops?
Do I love black cops? Yes. Do I love white cops? Yes. Do I love Mexican cops? Yes.
One more time, AD. I know it's hard for you to communicate.
Do you love black people?
Yes. Do you love white cops?
Why was you making fun of that black lady for having remorse for her son?
AD, do you love white cops?
I love white cops just like you love Donald Trump. It seems like he gets you excited in the morning, and you get excited by him like he's your... I don't know if you're married or not, but it seems like Donald Trump is your first love at this time.
Amazing.
He gets you erected.
I thought you said you love God.
I love God. That's
why are you so mean if you love God?
Why are you so mean if you love God? You made fun of the lady.
I appreciate your call. I appreciate your call. Right? Thank you, buddy. 888-77. This man is 37 years old, a black man, 37 with that mindset. No wonder the community is destroyed. First-time caller out of San Francisco, California, Delaney. Welcome to the show.
Oh, thank you very much. I just wanted to let you know I heard you over there on YouTube and so many other things. I can't say I agree with you all the way completely on Walter Scott. I think there's some things that you have to understand about patrol operations and enforcement tactics and what's taught to our local police officers across this country to protect their lives and others.
If had Walter not jumped out of the car and took off, would he be alive today as the other person who stayed in the car? You think Walter would be alive today?
The question you asked me is if Walter would be alive today if he did not jump out of the car.
Yes.
Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay, I'm sorry about that. Yeah. I don't think that he would be in good peace. No, I don't feel that. I don't know about alive or not.
Let me go back to the question. Had Walter not jumped out of the car because there was another person in the car with him who stayed in the car and nothing happened to that person, had Walter stayed in the car, do you think he would have been shot that day?
I'll say that. I'll say he probably would have been dead. Yeah.
Even if he had stayed in the car?
Yeah.
Why do you think he would have been? Well, no, let's just stay with Walter only. Why do you think Walter...
Okay, let's stay with Walter only.
Had Walter stayed in the car, just as the other person did, why do you think he would have been shot?
I think if Walter would have stayed in the car, that police officer that shot Walter Scott, I think that he was automatically a person that wanted to kill him because he was obviously a lazy police officer.
Why would he want? Why did he kill the other person then that stayed in the car?
Because police officer, I thought we were staying with Walter Scott, not the other person in the police car.
There was two people in the car.
But at the same time, okay,
calm down. Calm down, D-Lady.
I'm talking to you. I'm trying to talk to you.
D-Lady, you must, I have my hole right now. You must calm down. I have a question, all right?
Peterson,
D-Lady,
thank you very much for the static. But at the same time...
All right, D-Lady, I got to go. I appreciate your call.
No problem. Okay. Don't be scared.
All right, I'm scared. I'm just so scared. Walter Scott, just to remind some of the folks who don't know or might not remember because, believe me, you forget these things as you move forward. Walter could have... the officer could have shot Walter Scott the moment he first opened the door because if you remember, Walter got out of the car, acted as though he was leaving, and then he got back in. How come if the officer was just hell-bent on killing a black man, why did he shoot him then? You know what I'm saying? Walter opened his car door, got out, and when the cop turned around to go to his car. And the officer didn't shoot him then. And if you notice these blacks who are calling about this, they won't communicate or anything. They just talk over you. They don't want to hear the truth. They will not admit the truth. They'll talk around it, but not to it. And they're calling themselves Christians. And the officer was so nice to Walter Scott when he first approached him at the car there. He didn't go there mean or trying to incite anything. But these angry blacks who hate good, who hate whites, who hate been brainwashed, cannot admit the truth. And this is why they won't get better. They would never get better in life as long as they're refusing to admit the truth. And then we don't go along with it, they turn nasty and saying that they are Christians. Oh, I'm a Christian. My mama took me to church. That doesn't make you a Christian. Walter opened the car. He got out. The cop told him to get back in the car, and he did. Then he got out and ran. And they don't want to acknowledge that. Obey the cops, and you'll be just fine. And adults should be ashamed excusing this because the action of Walter Scott, because you're setting the other cops, blacks up to be killed.